God, mother, country, apple pie, and baseball. We have today really an interesting guy. Kent Shelley is the baseball coach at Johnson County Community College, and he is, are you ready for this? The winningest coach in the college's history with 719 wins.
Wow.
Yes, I keep track. I bet you do too.
I did not know that, Mary, until just now.
Well, are we going to hit 800?
The good Lord willing, we will get there eventually.
You know, I read something about Kent before I came, and you would think that he would say that his greatest accomplishment was 719 wins, and he's been at the college for 27 years and all that. You know what he says? The player's development is his greatest success. I think that's really nice. And he said, you know, I hope to think, this is what you said, I hope to think that my greatest accomplishment is touching the lives of young people, not only in terms of their development on the baseball diamond, but much more important, their development as young men. And he also said, these kids are turning out to be tremendous husbands, but these guys I've coached are becoming some of the greatest fathers that walk the face of the earth. I think that's nice.
Thank you. That's what we're all about, Mary. Yeah. I believe with my whole heart that that's why I'm here at Johnson County Community College. As I tell each recruit when they step foot on campus, we're going to compete for championships. We're going to win a lot more baseball games than we lose. But what sets this program apart than any other program in the country is that we do truly take a holistic approach in the development of our kids. And we're producing young men, great citizens. And as I mentioned, we want our kids to return to a community, be a civic leader, a community role model, great husband, but most of all, a great, great father. So we just work hard at it. We work hard at it.
Well, I would have to say, in 27 years, you've been pretty successful, Ken. I do have to say that.
Thank goodness for great players.
That's right.
And great assistant coaches.
Well, but you know, a good coach is a good, he's consistent and he's doing the same thing and with I think consistency is the...
It's certainly a key, absolutely. Stability. Yeah. And something unique right now is in junior college, coaches use that level a lot as a stepping stone to move on to Division II, Division I, especially among assistant coaches. And I've had the luxury to have my first assistant, my pitching coach, Eric Horner, is entering his 11th year with me. And then one of my former players, David Canary, he's entering his 6th year, I believe, with me as my hitting coach and infield outfield coach. So when you have that type of stability, those guys know our system, they know the ins and outs on and off the field. It just makes it a lot better in transitioning these kids from high school to college baseball.
You know what they say, that in order of importance, God, the family, and baseball, and then during baseball season that gets a little reversed.
I think our guys would tell you that those other two are probably in competition with baseball, but we work hard to try to keep those priorities, as you mentioned, in line and remind them really what this thing's all about. Well,
you know, Earl Wilson said something funny. He said, baseball, the game of baseball, is simply a nervous breakdown divided into 9 innings.
I couldn't agree more.
Do you get nervous?
No, I really don't.
Did you ever?
Absolutely, I did. Yeah. Absolutely, but you know, when we're playing in the big games, yeah, you get the butterflies flying in. And I think that's going to be one of the indicators that tells me when it's time to hang it up and move on to whatever there is life after baseball is the days that I don't get the jitters or get up for the big games and those butterflies tend to disappear, then I think that's time to probably move on.
Well, you've been playing baseball a long time. Talk about the Wakarusa Warriors.
Wakarusa Warriors. I grew up a Jayhawker up in, born and raised in Lawrence, Kansas, and rural Douglas County. And baseball wasn't really all that developed. We had recreation leagues in the city at the time. I played on a country team, the Wakarusa Warriors. Louis Holcomb. Louis is one of the legends of Lawrence. In fact, our high school summer league is named, one of the leagues is named after Louis Holcomb, the Holcomb Leagues. But Louis drove an old green International pickup truck, and he would make rounds of the country boys and pick them up after school. And we went out to Wakarusa Valley Elementary School, where I attended, and we had a backstop, and that was basically it. I think we had hay, straw stuffed in.
Well, you said that your name and number or whatever was written in marker on the back of a T-shirt.
We had no budget, and so we took white T-shirts, and we had Wakarusa Warriors on the back, and I think probably my mom or dad probably should take the credit for the refuse to lose on the back, but those were our uniforms, and we were just a bunch of country kids that assembled. We played in the Recreation League in Lawrence, and the age group was 8 to 10, and they snuck me in at 6 was when I first broke in and practiced with them.
What position did you play?
I started out as shortstop and played the infield, started pitching early on, did a little bit of catching, and I really didn't move to catching until when I was in high school.
That's hard on the old knees.
Well, I've been blessed. I played middle linebacker at Lawrence High and started
you can
catching
still
from
stand
high
on
school
both of them.
And they still work. They're the real things.
I think that's funny. Well, and I know you played baseball at KU.
Correct.
I have to ask you, do you believe that the success that you had as coaching is directly, you have to play baseball yourself, do you think, or not?
I think it certainly helps to understand all the ins and outs and the nuances of the game, and I believe it is one of the sports that it certainly helps to have played it, to understand it and coach and teach it.
Well, somebody said to me once, baseball is a really cerebral game. I don't know. Talk about that a little bit.
We work under the KISS principle simply because of the head coach. I'm not very smart. In fact, a wise man once told me, that wise man being my father, said, "Son, the chances of you being the brightest star in the sky probably aren't great. So whatever you grow up to be, make sure you surround yourself with great people." So God's blessed me with that ability to surround myself with the greatest team of assistant coaches and players and support staff and alumni. But we do really keep it simple. Baseball is a thinking man's game, and I think sometimes we as coaches, and certainly sometimes we as players, overthink the game to the point that we make it really more difficult than it is. It's a simple game when you really sit down and you look at it. It's a game of, and generally the person that catches, throws, hits, and runs the best wins a baseball game. So we do teach the kids to think about it and to think not only the next pitch ahead, but 2-3 pitches ahead of where we want to be and what might happen. But again, we do try to keep it simple. We try to leave the thinking up to the coaches, and we want our players just to go out and play.
Well, you know what Yogi Berra says about this whole thing. He says, well, it ain't like football. You can't make up no trick plays.
I think there's been some coaches that's tried, but I don't know that trick plays are all that successful.
Well, that's what Yogi Berra said. You know, you have had a marvelous record of coaching. You've been at the college 27 years. You have won, you've lost a few too, but you've won 719 games. That's a lot. People
like to talk about the wins. They don't talk a lot about the losses, but like I said, I've been blessed. It's all about the players.
But you know, Kent, I'll tell you something. People who never lose, I don't think are as strong personally. You have to lose to appreciate winning.
Absolutely.
So
And there's many people that's in my life that's very close to me, especially my wife, that'll tell you that I am not the best loser in the world, and it's simply something that I work at. But you know, baseball is it's a start and an end, and hopefully you're the last team with the last win of the championship, your season end. You're going to have peaks, you're going to have valleys, you're going to have slumps, you're going to have streaks. the thing we try to do is be as consistent as we can.
Well, that was the first thing we said.
Absolutely.
That management, coaching, whatever it is, has to be consistent.
It has to be stable and consistent and routine.
Well, somebody else must think you're pretty good besides the college, because you were inducted into the Coaches Hall of Fame. And you have the fanciest ring that I'm sure everybody wants to snatch right off of you. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And you wear it proudly.
Thank you.
Talk about that honor that comes. Is it community college coaches? Is it baseball coaches in general?
Well, I was first inducted in 2007 into the NJCCC Junior College Baseball Coaches Hall of Fame out in Grand Junction, Colorado. And then this past January, I was inducted into the ABCA, which is American Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame, which is the most prestigious honor that will be bestowed on an amateur coach. And it takes in high school through Division I.
That was the time to ask the college for a raise.
Where's that negotiator when I need him?
That's right.
But, you know, it's very, very humbling. I do wear it with pride. I wear it for all the players. Again, it gets back to the players. The players are the ones that put Coach into the Hall of Fame. And I tried to drop some letters and some emails and made some phone calls and before I went into the hall in Chicago, just to let the players know how much I appreciate what they've done for me and what they continue to do for me. My assistant coaches in my 27-year career, I just can't thank them enough for their support and making me look pretty good. But it is the most humbling honor and award, and it's not one I take very lightly. And again, I've been blessed with great people in my life.
It always interests me because we're not born into excellence. We have to learn excellence. How long did it take you to be a really good coach?
I'm not there yet.
But you know,
it's just it's a lot of hard work. It's confidence in yourself to go out each and every day and give it your best effort. And Mary, as you well know, there's been a lot of failures, a lot of times that we've come short of our goals and expectations. But that's what builds character. And as I tell my kids, our first meeting and my coaches, every fall in our first meeting, I give them permission to make mistakes because I make mistakes each and every day. And I think making mistakes is one of the greatest ways we learn. And I don't want my kids and I don't want my coaches out there tiptoeing around and being afraid of making a mistake. I want them going out there and just letting it go. And then when we do make our mistakes, and I think when you talk to scouts and you talk to four-year college coaches that follow our program, they're going to tell you, when we watch Kent's teams play, when they make mistakes, will we ever rarely see them make a second mistake again. So we make them, we learn from them, and then we move on.
Well, this is such a good quote. I had to work it in somewhere. It said, baseball is a game where a curve is an optical illusion. A screwball can be a pitch or a person. Stealing is legal, and you can spit anywhere you like except in the umpire's eye or on the ball. So maybe that's what makes you a good coach.
I tell you what, I just couldn't put it in better words.
I thought that was so good. But you know, you have some really kind of nice things to work with. You have a brand new baseball complex.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
Beautiful. We are so proud.
I have to tell this. When I said something to him when Kent first came in, I said something about it, and he looked at me like he'd had a new baby.
Well, I tell you what, it's I'm not sure it's as exciting as when my two girls were born, but it ranks right up there with it.
No pressure. They're both girls.
Both girls, both girls. The loves of my life.
Yes. And
their mother as well. I'm blessed, but. No, this baseball facility is one of the greatest baseball facilities in the country. We completed phase 1 in February of this year. We played our first season on it. We do have a phase 2 in progress. We are talking to potential donors, trying to raise the funds for that. And when we do get phase 2 completed, I can honestly look you in the eye and tell you we will have the nicest baseball facility in all of junior college baseball, probably Division 3, 2, NAIA, and will rival many Division 1s. It's absolutely gorgeous, but we have an all-turf field. Rainouts really are not a problem anymore. It'll handle.
Hot is a problem.
It's gotten our attention the past 2 weeks, but we're not complaining at all. It's just beautiful.
Let me ask you this question. You told me that you had 4 returning sophomores.
We have 9 coming back.
9, okay.
Correct.
And so you have a lot of newbies.
Newbies.
Yes.
22 of them.
22 of them. How do you, and I never could get this figured out, how do you mold and meld a team? How do you do that? I mean, to me that would be really difficult because they have to be able to play together.
That's the million-dollar question, and as soon as I can answer it, I'm going to write a book, hopefully sell a bunch, and retire on an island. I tell our guys the 2 most difficult parts of my job is the beginning of the fall when you bring in kids that are used to being all-stars. They're the number 1s, number 2s on their high school and summer teams. They're used to being heads and shoulders above everyone else. And you bring them in, 31 of them, and you line them up from home to first base, and they look left and right. And all of a sudden, where they're used to being the best, now they're in with a group of guys that
are all the best.
They're all the best. So it's taking a bunch of all-stars, a bunch of all-Americans and all-staters, and knowing how to humble them when needed, how to break them down, how to build them back up, and to build the family. We refer to our program as a family, and I think that's been one of the keys and successes. Again, in the recruiting,
and esprit de corps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in the recruiting process, I tell them I have a wife, I have 2 daughters, and I have 31 sons, and that's really how we go about our work each and every day.
But it's, to take, and you have 31 individuals too.
Absolutely.
So part of the idea is to make them play as a team. The other part, I mean, I'm on soft ground here, I got to tell you, but the other part is to take the best of the talent that's in them and make it better. Sort of individual. How do you?
That's a goal. I have as the skipper, I have two charts that I'm plotting. One for the team to get us through the fall, the off season, the spring, and to chart that course that hopefully gets us to Grand Junction competing for a national championship. The second most important course that I chart are the individual courses of the players, to take them from where they're at this point in time in their careers to where I anticipate them, project them to be at the end of their sophomore year, to hopefully place them in a position to continue their academic and athletic careers.
Do you share that
next
information
level.
with them?
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. We're in this thing together, so I don't always tell them what they want to hear. And I will not allow my assistant coaches to sugarcoat it as well. So we lay out that game plan. They know where their strengths are and their weaknesses and what they need to do to improve. And then we also tell them what level we believe that they're going to be able to play at afterwards. And, my coaches do a great job, just a wonderful job in placement of these kids in four-year colleges and universities around the country.
That is a problem, though. You only have them for 2 years.
Well, like I said, the two toughest things is taking these kids and blending them into a family, into a team, and working for that one goal, setting all the I's aside and we's. And then the second one is ensuring that they move on to bigger and better things. And that's sometimes difficult to get them onto the next level.
Well, it is. And I know that you coach the Team USA.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's the best of the best.
They're pretty good. I'd like to have that kind of talent each and every year.
Is it different? Is it more difficult to coach a team like that? I mean, they'd played on a team for a while, so they were not.
They have.
They were not newbies, so
the kids that I was actually one of the first assistant. Well, I was one of the assistant coaches on the first USA Junior College All-Star team that went to Havana, Cuba, back in 1990, and then I was head coach
You were
of
head
Team
coach, yeah.
USA in '94, and we played a select team from Japan. And these were the best freshman and sophomore baseball players in America.
I guess the
So-
question is, are they willing to be coached?
Oh, absolutely. That's the greatest thing about junior college baseball. Coaches roll up their sleeves, and there's not a facet of the game that we don't touch with our own hands. And players are here for a reason, and that's to get on to Division I baseball. And a lot of them aspire to be professional baseball players as well. So our job's to prepare them not only on the athletic field, but most importantly in the classroom, so when they do transfer on, that four-year college coach doesn't have to worry about their eligibility.
Yeah. You know, it occurs to me too, yes, you're a baseball coach, but you do run a business. You run a business of people, really. So you have assistants, you have players, you have trainers, you have bat boys, I don't know, you got all kinds of people. So you have to make them a family.
Absolutely.
That's tough sometimes.
We're blessed at Johnson County. We have the greatest support systems, I think, at any level. We have counselors. Baseball has 2 full-time counselors that work specifically with our baseball team. Dave Ellis has been with me about 18 years. Alicia Bradyhoff's been with me for about 10 or 11, and she's having to step back right now because of other duties in her department. So Chad Yonker is pinch hitting for her at this time. Brian Ballman's our faculty advisor that works specifically with our baseball team. Our administrative assistants, our trainers, you know, it just goes right down the line.
See, this business, I guess the point is true, that it looks much more simple than it is. I mean, the business has a lot of components, a lot of balls in the air, a lot of different kinds of people doing different things, and it all has to mesh. And that's your job.
Well, I have a lot of help, but
Well, basically,
ultimately
as
it
Harry
does
Truman
fall back
says, the
on
buck stops
me.
there,
The buck
yeah.
stops here.
Yeah.
And again, I've just been blessed to have the greatest people here at the college, part of our baseball family. I can't thank them enough, and I'm just so proud of their dedication and their passion for our program and our guys.
Talk about 2 or 3 of the best of the players that you've had over 27 years.
Oh my gosh.
If you had to pick 2, who would you pick?
Well, I think one of the ones that's received the most national recognition, without any doubt, has been Doug Otto. Doug Otto, in his last year here, ended up being unanimous everything. He was first team All Jayhawk Conference. He was first team All Region. He was the Jayhawk Conference Most Valuable Player, Best Defensive Player. He was a first team All American. He made the All Tournament team in the JUCO World Series. And then his greatest recognition and honor was he was the first recipient of the ABCA/Rawlings Gold Glove Award.
What is he doing now?
Doug is working, selling insurance right now.
Does he still play baseball?
No, not. He didn't get a chance to play it professionally, but just one of the great.
Did you know
kids.
that when you had him? Did you know that he had that kind of?
Absolutely not.
See, there
Mary,
you go.
I just shared this story with our guys last week. Doug Otto was probably 5'9", 135, 140 pounds, dripping wet.
Like Pee Wee Reese.
Absolutely. Came in, he just called me consistently, emailed me. I didn't really need him at the time. And finally, after about the 50th phone call, I said, Doug, come up.
He wore
we'll
you
take a look."
down.
He wore me down.
I think
We
that's
brought
funny.
him up, we worked him out, and I said, Doug, we don't have any money for you, but I'll make room on the roster for you. He played backup his freshman year to a very highly touted shortstop that transferred back here from Kansas State. Doug was inserted into the lineup about 2/3 way through his freshman year and never came out of the lineup.
See, he surprised you.
He did, and he he had a growth spurt. He went out that summer and swung a wooden bat. He got stronger. He ended up being about 6'1", probably played about 170, 175.
You know, that leads me to ask you, you look at the players today and the professional players, and they're 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
I mean, they're huge. And I know that you are an associate scout for the Royals.
Right.
So you look for players. Do they have to be tall?
Well, it certainly helps. You know, today's game's all about speed. It's all about
Well, it's all about leverage,
strength.
too.
It's all about leverage,
Yeah.
breaking, especially with pitchers. We need guys at 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", because pitching's all about angles. It's all about breaking planes. And when you're 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", even if you're throwing 100 miles an hour, the ball comes in straight. So.
Heaven help you if you get hit. Some of these people do, that hurts. Have you found some really good people?
Well, we'd like to think we have.
Yeah.
We continue to work very hard in the scouting system.
So you're out a lot looking.
We are.
Yeah.
I basically cover the metropolitan area in the Jayhawk Conference. I've been with the Royals for 27 years. I've worked under some great GMs, assistant GMs, some great scouting directors. The Royals have been awfully good to myself and our program.
They may need your batting coach.
Well, I don't know about that. They those guys that Dayton Moore has assembled are the greatest guys in there, and Dayton Moore, in my opinion, is probably one of the greatest managers.
Well, I
in the
have
game.
had the pleasure of meeting him, and he is a
He's
very
a class
nice
act,
man.
and
He is.
He's a junior college guy. He played
he?
second base for Garden City
That
Community
just shows
College.
you.
So
that just shows you. And I am so pleased that you took time to come and talk to us about baseball, because I don't think that we normally get that side of the game. And Paul Gallico said it best, I think, Kent. He said, "No game in the world is as tidy and dramatically neat as baseball, with cause and effect, crime and punishment, motive and result, so cleanly defined." And you have defined it so well for these 27 years at Johnson County Community College, and also as an associate scout for the Royals. And I think that you have much to be proud of, and the college is very proud of you. So thank you, Kent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. It's our community, and I'll see you again soon.